All right, so I've been coming back in Little Yosemite Valley. You're looking right to the left of that black street, right at the face. And there is a little use path here. So this is called Snake Dyke, or the Snake Dyke Trail. I have no idea how easy this is going to be to follow, but I'm not too worried about it. It should involve some class 3 or class 4 scrambling up on some ledges. So basically, you end up wrapping. So this is going to the diving board, by the way, if this is a new video. I just did Half Dome, but it might be a separate video. We have to wrap around this side of Half Dome and go up. So do we descend here or do we stay high? I think I'd rather stay high. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so there is a trail, kind of. It's not always easy to follow, but I think I also have a GPS track, which I'm assuming I'm gonna have to rely on at some point. But for now, just kind of meandering down here. I'd rather be higher, but we're kind of low, and there's some like little marsh called Lost Lake. We're down near a drainage, it appears, where all these ferns are growing. Maybe I can find the red fern. All right, so we've crossed that drainage and we have a couple cairns. That's Liberty Cap, which I think we'd go somewhere over there and then just walk straight up, and that's Mount Broderick, which does not look as easy to walk straight up. This vegetation is pretty cool. I don't even know what it is. It looks like something you put on like a mop or a duster. Whoa. Anyway, this is Lost Lake. Like I said, it's more like a marsh than an actual lake. But the lady I just ran into said she didn't make it all the way to the diving board. She was trying to. She said there was a sketchy section. She didn't feel comfortable on some steep, exposed slick rock or granite. So yeah, I guess it's not slick rock, I guess it's granite. So anyway, we'll just have to feel it out. But I'd imagine this could be a route finding exercise. So far, not too bad. All right, so we just popped up steeply, 150 feet or something, 200 feet. Now we get better views. I'm getting eaten alive too, by the way, which isn't very fun. So somehow, I don't know if we go there, we cut up, we gotta wrap around Half Dome. So I'm hopeful I'll see cairns, but okay, so I've checked the map, and rather than wrap low, we're supposed to cut straight up at this point. So see that gully with the rocks against the face and the vegetation? That, I believe, is kind of what we want to follow up. And then at some point we'll cut left, maybe at the top of that vegetation, maybe even higher. So I think I generally know which way I want to go. it doesn't look like it's gonna be too bad to work my way up. It might be annoying, but yeah, we're gonna get up to, say, that big tree and then start to cut left, because I think this is too steep to walk up, and that you'll lose elevation. So that's the plan for now. All right, so this is cairned for the most part. You sort of gotta, I don't want to call it bushwhacking, you gotta wind your way through some vegetation. Look, now it's cutting us over. We're kind of working our way through brush. There are cairns, and I've spotted one, you can't even see it, over there. So I'm gonna cut this way and then work my way right up the face, or right up the gully next to the slab, and then eventually cut left, which I think should be easy enough, but who knows? I feel like I see a cairn way up there even. So I'm not too worried about this, but it is getting hot. So it's working my way up. All right, so I'm getting up this boulder field gully, and I just spotted my first cairn to the left. So gonna get up to this bush and then cut left to that cairn. I'm probably right by that tree, it looks like. So it's a little bit easier, I think, stepping on the boulders than being on a slick. I mean, that could be slick too with that growth, so that would not be fun. But yeah, just going up and then cutting left here shortly. All right, we are truly like right up against the face of Half Dome, which is crazy cairn. So the route so far has followed my intuition, which is good. It's always good when the cairns match your intuition, but I mean, to me, it looks like we just hug the cliff and go right by those trees. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, I was gonna say, this might as well be a sidewalk or a highway. Just walking on this kind of ledge system, and I think we'll just gradually bend up around the corner. Seems like a plan to me. Oh, look how low that one looks now. Liberty Cap and Broderick. All right, I've come to what I think is like a crux move. So this is obviously exposed and probably would go sliding down, and that's kind of a far jump. So I think you need to step up to this. It's what I think you need to do, which is not totally trivial, I would say. Yeah, I think that was the move, but maybe I'm too high. Unsure. But I'm just gonna wrap, I think, around here. I don't see any more cairns, which I don't like, so I'm gonna wrap here and be careful. But this is kind of complicated right here. You could climb up here above the tree. You could go low, but I see if the holds aren't good enough, you have some exposure issues. So I think this is probably the crux right here. So all the same. So do we step up here? Yeah, let's just step up right here. This feels a little safer to me. Get above this tree. But in theory, oh no, oh yeah. See, this is all slippy, but we have this crack above the tree that we can walk down to what's now a more contained crack. I think this is probably where that lady got turned around, would be my guess. Because I think I read, or I saw in some trip report, that that was kind of the crux. So unsure where to go, but I'm gonna keep wrapping and going up. I'm back hugging the cliff, although I think there's different routes. That sometimes the bugs are awful. I think this one will come up to meet where I am now. So this looks fine to me. All right, we've finally done the wrap. I think we've officially wrapped. There's cairns kind of everywhere. Low, high, medium. So do whatever you want. Like I said, I have the map, so as long as I'm close, but there's cairns up there, so I think I do want to start cutting up again. All right, well, our objective is to walk up this hill, like somewhere that way, so I've sort of lost a cairn path. I'm just sort of romping through Manzanita, hoping that there's sort of a track over here, and I shouldn't be down. It looks like you could get down in that drainage and kind of follow it up, but I'm being a rebel here and going high. But we have only like, not a lot, 300 feet or less to gain. So I kind of see a use path, so I'm just gonna keep taking it through the Manzanita. All right, so I basically got Manzanita'd out up there, sort of like being cliffed out, but with Manzanitas. So I backtracked 100 yards or not even, and now I'm finding a more pleasant way down to where there's boulders and seemingly more dirt. I was too high anyway when I looked at the map. So anyway, oops. That's what happens sometimes when you do stuff like this, but luckily it's only gonna cost me like 5 minutes. So heading down and then heading up, and it looks like, and I see that dirt path I can spot. That looks immaculate. Well, this is a slog getting up this hill, but we're almost there. I think 50, 60 more feet or so. This will be much easier on the way down. Just a sandy, basically a sand dune you're walking up. It's not quite as loose. So somewhere up there, look at that view of Half Dome, baby. Wow, I was right on top of there a couple hours ago. Yeah, well, ladies and gents, we are about to get a spectacular view. Are you ready for this? Oh boy, straight down. Straight down. And so you can go out there and, you know, walk and run your hands along it, I suppose. But I think on this rock is where, so Ansel Adams, this is actually hard to get up. I don't think I have, do I have the flexibility to do this? Unsure. Got it. This rock, or maybe right there, is where Ansel Adams has the famous photograph of Half Dome. So there you have it, folks. And maybe I'll go over there. Maybe that's the official diving board. Not sure. I mean, you can walk anywhere along this edge. Epic views up here. Not as epic as Half Dome, but pretty cool nonetheless, right? Yes, it's Watkins, I think that's what it's called. Watkins, something like that. Yeah, but look at that, that's impressive. So that's like the face of Half Dome, like when someone climbs it, like when Honnold free solos it, he's going up that thing, and there's that ledge maybe in the middle that you walk across. Unsure. Pretty cool. I walked over to this other fin over here. You wouldn't fall that far. You'd land on that ledge, I think. Yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah. Yep, that's the Half Dome face for you. and we're near an edge. So we're gonna head back down. It should be a lot quicker down. Hopefully I don't get lost. I got out on this rock fin briefly to get a picture. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You could walk all the way, I suppose, if you really wanted to, but I don't know, that could be a little slick. I mean, it's probably fine, but you could just walk your hands along the whole thing. But all right, so this is taking a while to get down because it's so steep and loose, but I'm finding the cairns. There's multiple routes down. I need to be careful around here, make sure I go the right way and not fall too far. But there's Lost Lake. Broderick is so small. And then there's Liberty Cap, but the thunder and storms and rain are starting far away, so there are storms in the area. All right, so we're kind of getting close. And now, yeah, I guess I did come up here. I was like, this is near. There were a couple little crux moves, class 3, 4, all in the same area. So yeah, because I stepped in this crack. Again, I'm facing forward because that's what I like to do. Don't knock it until you try it. So yeah, right around this, on the other side of this tree, is sort of the main crux, I would say, that turned around our other attempted hiker today. So let's try to show you how it's done the other way. It might actually be harder the other way because we're going down. So this is all nice and contained. I'm just taking my sweet old time here. But basically what you want to do is, I think, go above the tree because it seems a little more exposed below the tree. Like there's no ledges or anything. So what I would recommend is going above the tree, and then this is kind of going to be the move here. So it's going to be, it might actually be easier on the way down. We need to get down to that ledge. See, so over there, honestly, you could have walked around. I don't know what I was thinking. It actually doesn't look too bad now from down below. So I just need to lower myself to here. But then I have a big lower. So this is kind of, yeah, it honestly, now that I'm looking at it from above, it looks like you probably could have just walked around below. Yes, I don't know what I was thinking. Just walk on here and then walk here, and then like right there maybe looks a little exposed, but it looks flat from here. It actually looks easy. So you don't necessarily need to go above the tree. But, oh, here it was. So here I didn't want to cross this because you could in theory go sliding. So I went up the 6 feet or so here. So now I have to get down this, which should be fine. Yeah, so that was, I didn't want to cross right here, but once you get up there, you don't need to go up to the tree. You could just walk around the nose. So I think that's the crux of the entire route here. And here's what I called the sidewalk, or the highway. And pretty soon we'll be down. So maybe we'll do one of those peaks. Yeah, the weather is coming in quickly, but we'll be down off Granite soon. So just FYI, on the way down, I started going down the wrong boulder gully, and there's actually a little spur on the map. So someone's done it before or something, or it's a route that just dead ends. So now I'm attempting to cut horizontally to the correct descent gully. Is this gonna work? I'm not sure, but it seems bouldery enough that I should be able to cut across a couple 100 yards or whatever it is. It's not that far. So anyway, wasn't even paying attention and went completely down the wrong gully. So now I'm boulder hopping when I don't have to be. All right, so we've more or less done it. We just have to cross this slick slab, which is done. There's probably all sorts of snakes up here, by the way. And now, now we have another slab to cross. So this is this is the rock gully we want to be in, I think. Although I will check, yeah, because that leads us all the way down. So I am just gonna walk across this, but how feasible is that? I don't know. I think it's fine. I guess we'll find out. There is quite a long ways to slide if I don't make this. Made it to here, part way across. Descend a little bit more, get to this pocket. Okay, see, this actually isn't ideal now. To get across here, I think I'll be fine. Maybe I'll get the gloves out just in case. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, worst case, I'm not sliding that far, so that's why I'm not too concerned. But and the further I get over, the less I will slide. Yeah, this is a little unnerving, folks. I'm almost across. Almost. Yeah, that's pretty steep. That's more than 45 degrees. But we're safe, and I felt okay with the risk. Worst case, I thought I'd slide down into these rocks, and I had hand protection, so I wouldn't scrape up my hands. Well, we've gone off route a couple times, but we always find our way back on it. And now I'm searching for the next cairn. I think I'm just heading left, but I could be heading down. By the way, if you think your feet are big, check out these pine cones. I'm back down. Here's Lost Lake. I probably got, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile back to the main trail. Little ups and downs, but relatively flat. So just following Lost Lake. Yeah, I sort of want to go romp in the meadow, although I guess I would get all wet, presumably. Oh, I just saw a bear. There's a little bear up there on the trail. I don't know if you caught that in the camera. All right, back to the main trail. For those of you scoring at home, I think that was like 2:45, which is absurd. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was like 2:15 or 2.5. I think it was at least 2.5 from when I left the trail here. I think it was like 4 miles with, I don't even think, it might have been 1,500 foot of gain in the 2 miles up. So yeah, that took a while, but we're back, and I need to find some water to filter, to refill, so I might need to go down to the river at some point.